I'm reading it now. I'm reading it. The boss babe. You know, you want to help people. You need to help yourself first. So you get a,
Right. You. Oh
you
man,
know,
this is
it's
crazy.
it's it's
Imagine climbing your way up the ladder of one of the biggest retailers and just lose it all over a LinkedIn post. Well, that's exactly what happened to Ashley Buchanan, now former CEO of Kohl's. Fair use.
Surprising to see any CEO get sacked. This is made more interesting by the fact that Ashley Buchanan just joined Kohl's a couple of months ago.
Yeah, just a couple months into his tenure here, we're seeing a lot of detail from this board investigation, talking about how he pushed the company to do business with this vendor that he had a personal relationship with. We don't yet know this nature of the personal relationship, but that he directed multi-million dollars of business to the vendor.
It's a really tough time for Kohl's to go through this. The stock has already been down 50% this year. What are the challenges the company is navigating as it looks for a new permanent replacement?
Yeah, I mean, the company replaced its CEO because they weren't doing very well. And then as soon as the Ashley Buchanan took over, they decided to cut 10% of their corporate staff. Sales are already low. You're trying to do a turnaround right as the economy is starting to crater. Consumer demand is going down. The macroeconomic environment is clearly terrible. So it is not good news for this company. But the stock, of course, went up because I think it shows the board, seeing something, saying something, doing something about it.
Moved quickly.
Yeah,
moved quickly. And as Katie points out, 12 straight quarters of revenue declines. Clearly, they had to bring in somebody. They thought this guy was the superstar, obviously, because they paid him $20 million for this year. He's going to lose some of that money.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't quite looked at if they've disclosed yet if how much he's going to lose or if they've come out with that yet. But yeah, I mean, might be the shortest tenure of anyone ever. I'm going to have to check.
I'm gonna continue after this and take a look at deeper on that. A man once seen as the savior of the band is now fired. We're gonna cover this story, man. It's about power, betrayal, and of course, a turtleneck wearing influencer girlfriend with coffee to sell. Let's talk about it, RJ.
Yes, let's talk about it, guys. Remember to rate the show by pressing the like button and follow us on our socials, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification icon. KR, one important thing that I learned when I started working, in the legal area as an attorney, you get a lot of theory, a lot of reading material, a lot of case law, a lot of legal rules. But one thing my mentor told me, and he kept on reminding me, is that at the end of the day, you're dealing with people, and people will do people things. Or as the younger generation would say it, people be peopling. And so the same thing that someone who works a cleaning job would do, the same desires, the same vices, the same weaknesses, someone with a higher function also have, right? And so that's the power. That's what gold diggers have figured out. They figured out that no matter how powerful a man is, for example, a man still likes female attention, and a man likes a certain kind of female attention. Just to give an example. So in this case, it's the same. Not necessarily at least not only female attention, but it plays a role. But yeah, KR, let's dive deeper into the story.
Let's dive a bit deeper. So the scandal broke wide open when Buchanan posted a seemingly innocent promo video for a startup called Incrediblue, a collagen coffee company run by none other than Chandra Holt, his romantic partner and fellow retail exec. That post, still live at the time, became damning evidence in an undisclosed relationship. This wasn't just a guy not sharing his girlfriend's passion project. Buchanan, while CEO of Kohl for the time he was at, quite shortly, allegedly orchestrated not one but two deals financially benefiting Holt, without ever disclosing their romantic connection. He got Incrediblue, a fledgling startup, on Kohl's shelves within 5 months of its creation, which is quite fast usually with startups. The second one, he also helped greenlight a consulting deal worth millions with BCG, where Holt was surprise on the advisory team. So here we are. He's fired for cause. He's also forced to repay 2.5 million of his 3.75 million signing bonus, lost about 50 million in equity stock, and booted from the board just 2 weeks before the shareholder vote. Let's take a look from another angle. Fair use.
Yes, we had the news that the CEO was ousted, but that's big news, right? Because now we have Michael Bender stepping in as CEO, and he's the fourth in under 3 years. But let's give you a little bit of a backdrop. Since 2021, when the company added Sephora shops to their stores, their revenues have fallen 2.2 billion. But in the meantime, Sephora added 1.8 billion. So that means that their revenues are down almost 5 billion away from beauty. So that kind of gives you the backdrop of what's happening operationally here. And with these different CEOs, nobody has seemed to find the formula how to get back to growth. The reason why the stock has popped today is really because they came out with their first quarter preliminary figures showing that their comp sales were down 4 to 4.3% when the company was guiding down 6% and consensus was at down 6.4%, and earnings were even higher.
So the stock went up around the time he got fired. Holt's name popped up during Buchanan's divorce proceedings, where his ex-wife's lawyer warned she wasn't just a random person, but someone who may have access to confidential communication. Crazy. Doing it all for what? Risking it all for a side chick. A boss babe. Audrey.
Why did you have to use the boss? Why did you have to use the bob?
Did you read the caption?
I'm reading it now. The boss babe. You know, you want to help people, you need to help yourself first. So you get a
Right. Oh
you
man,
know,
this is crazy.
it's the dynamic, which is why I understand I forgot his name, but the current CEO of Red Lobster was at PF Chang's. I think he said that he's not in a relationship. I think he said it on a Breakfast Club. I mean, he's focusing on the job and he wants to do like a good job at doing his job. That's his purpose in life. He doesn't want anything at the moment, at least. And so, hey.
But I think that the big issue here is, and this is, even though I'm in my mama's basement, I know a thing or two about corporate. And usually you have a code about corporate structures, corporate situations. There is such thing as a code of conduct, and it is expected, no matter where you are in the organization, to act in a certain way. Don't try to, let's say, bribe officials. Don't engage into using your power to get some putanga and stuff like that, or paying, in this case, for someone who know, or try to get a contract within the company for someone you know, or actually in this case, someone you're banging. So I think this is as big of a I wouldn't even call it a misjudgment, because this is, if you're a CEO, you should know this. This is not a rule that's only for selected. In general, that's how most corporate organizations work. Try to avoid these situations because they usually create liabilities. That's why there is a code of conduct, resulting in, of course, if you're giving someone a multi-year contract and they find out you're banging the CEO of that company, another company might sue you.
Yeah.
That's why they avoid this kind of situation. So yeah, this is putting up a $20 million reward for grabs for this stuff is wild to me. I guess he thought he could get away with it, but very, very, very stupid.
And it's very not only stupid and because KR, you mentioned corporate governance, and it is true. You need the purpose of having a code of corporate governance is to make sure that people don't abuse their power and position, right? That people and deals, people and companies who deserve certain benefits, whether it's a contract, whether it's a deal, whether it's an opportunity, that they get it, based on a fair way of doing business. And just because there's a conflict doesn't mean you can't engage in business activities with a person, but you have to say that there's a conflict. That's the point. You have to say, hey, there is a conflict because this is a company of, for example, my cousin. However, that being said, it's the best company there is for the needs that we have.
Yeah.
And
You
so
need to disclose
these is their track record and so on and so forth. So that's the whole thing, right? You need to disclose it. Doesn't mean that you can do business with the people, but it's just you have to disclose it. And to do it in a 4-month time, it's very greedy as well. It's
this is great.
greedy. In your first 100 days, you should do quick wins, and it's pretty easy to get quick wins. But that's why I say it's like when you have you know what can be a downer for your career, KR? If you have an ambitious, incompetent person as your partner.
Yeah,
So the person is ambitious, but is not willing to patiently work to get to where he or she wants to go. It's like, okay,
They're not good
I have this, so here's an opportunity for me. It's not a wise thing to do, and so it's it's not smart. It's not smart, but it does happen. There are ways to dance around corporate governance. It happens a lot, unfortunately. Although we like for people to live in a meritocracy, that you get judged and rewarded based on your merit. In reality, there's oftentimes room for it, and there are people who know the rules and they walk, a thin line. They know.
Yeah.
But this dude,
he went over it.
hurdled over the thin line. It's like, and
Let's put a face. Let's put a face to the name. Let's put a face to the name.
right. That's a face that I would expect. Yes.
Let's put a face to the other name.
Also a face that I would expect.
This is the Incredible Blue Brew. You're here promoting the business. So, hey man, very, very irresponsible. Very irresponsible. Imagine, this is literally drawing the bag. $20 million. And there's nothing sweeter than equity stocks.
Then,
Equity stocks. When you get the equity
can I tell you what? Can I share something with you? And this is not because this is not financial advice to anyone. We don't give financial advice here. But I'll just say this here. Yesterday, I was at a celebration. It was a barbecue at an office where someone retired. That person who retired is 50.